How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of aged, hopeful beer goodness in the form of, listen, we're gonna butcher so many words in this one, so enjoy yourself, especially if you're from wherever this beer is made. This is Brouwerij, Kortrijk, Dutsel. Okay, Lindstraat, Dutsel, Special Ale. Yeah, no idea what this beer is about, but it looks very champagne-like, so I assume it's a champagne kind-of-esque kind of beer, for that reason, and the other reason is it says serve in fluted glasses. Yeah, this is the closest I have to a fluted glass, so we'll pour it in this sucker, but yeah, I've never had this beer before, never seen it before, but I was at a local, bottle shop, and I just kind of caught my eye, I was like, kind of looks like champagne. I'm not a big champagne guy, but I'm like, let me take a look. And it's old. It's old as F. Well, I mean, 2013 is old as F. So you're talking about 6 years old, and there's nothing else on it. It doesn't tell you anything about the beer. It just says a serve in fluted glasses. It's a special Haglunds beer. The original 100 SG. Yeah. It's a 8.9% alcohol percent beer, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, no idea what this is about. I assume it's a champagne yeast-based beer, just based off of the vibes they give it, the foil top, the whole nine. But we're going to crack into it, see what she's all about. Yeah, I loved me the aged beers. I thought there'd be a cork underneath there, to be honest with you. I love me some aged beers. But, a champagne yeast, assumed champagne yeast. Ooh. Vibrant, like a champagne, like crazy lemon lime, champagne 7-Up Sprite kind of vibes right off the get from there. Yeah, 8%. Let's give this a super gentle pour. This glass is horrible. It generates a gigantic head, but you're also talking about a champagne beer, so it probably wants to have a pretty big head on her. So let's stop right there and see what she's got. But yeah, just kind of, I don't know, piqued my interest. I love going into stuff with zero idea what the hell I'm drinking. Man, there's this champagne dry sweetness just bursting from this beer. Quarter pinky finger, half pinky finger, pretty rocky head with a little bit of creaminess to it. Stone white with a very soft champagne-like carbonation. There's a little bit of haze in there, but it's a particulate kind of haze. It's definitely a bottle-conditioned beer. You can actually see a bit of yeast cake on the bottom. I'm not going to disturb it all that much. But yeah, I mean, she looks kind of like champagne. She looks like a very dropped-out saison, something along those lines. So she looks pretty nice. Can't wait to get this nose. From a distance, it's just giving me gigantic, huge champagne vibes. Get a nose. Yeah, see, it smells very much like champagne mixed with 7-Up. It has that lemon lime characteristic in spades, but it all has that kind of... I'm not a wine expert. I am not a champagne expert. The thing I know about champagne the most is that I'm not a fan of it. It really just doesn't do it for me. I haven't really... Let's put it this way. I haven't liked it in the past. I haven't explored it recently. Your palate changes, your taste changes, so maybe I should revisit it. But there's always this kind of acidic tartness thing to it. This dryness that kind of irritates me. I'm not really getting that in here, even though that's more of a tasting than a smell thing when it comes to champagne. This smells like champagne, but I'm also getting an added sweet component to it. That's where that kind of syrupy 7-Up Sprite kind of thing comes into play. So big champagne yeast phenolic on it, combined with a lemon lime thing going on. Not much as far as any kind of discernible hops and very soft bitterness. But yeah, she smells pretty interesting. It smells like it might be a little bit sweet, but it's weird because you think about champagne yeast, think about like today with the whole Brut beer thing. I know Brut isn't just zero completely when it comes to the classic use of the turd. There's levels of Brut when it comes to champagne and stuff like that. So this is kind of like a bit more sweeter than that. So it's kind of like, I don't know, a weird vibe from it. An enjoyable one so far. I just want to dive in, see what you taste like. Cheers. That's champagne that I like. That's exactly what that is. You get this nice, rich... It has to be a combination of yeast. It can't just be champagne yeast. There has to be a Belgian strain kind of floating around in there. Because well, you do get this really big, gigantic champagne vibe off this thing. It's absolutely 100% there. You also get this nice, sweet, soft, kind of fruited, like grapey, slightly peachy, slightly Belgian fruit phenolic off of it. So there is a sweetness there. There's a fruit component there. I don't think there's any kind of addition here. I think this is all from the yeast. And you get this really nice sweetness to it. It's definitely not overly sweet, but it's not super negative sweet. There is a dryness to it. So it is that kind of combination of a bit of sweetness with a little bit of kind of that brute characteristic in there. But heaping helpings of that kind of dry, what I would typically kind of turn my nose against, kind of acidic, very aggressive champagne yeast, but it's tempered by this big, beautiful, fruity yeast, what I assume is a Belgian yeast ester, combined with a nice sweetness that just kind of bounces off that champagne. This is literally everything I've wanted champagne to be for me. Maybe I'm a baby palate when it comes to champagne. I can't appreciate it properly. But it always kind of made sense, the combination of champagne with a little bit of kind of like a lemon lime kind of seltzer water soda kind of thing. I've never done it, but it always kind of just made sense in my brain. And that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting that sweet soda-esque kind of vibe, that sweet fruited lemon lime seltzer water thing in combination with a really nice champagne, and it makes it drinkable for me. It makes it pleasant for me. That's a good thing, at least for me. I want to try this beer so bad fresh now. Yeah, there's really, I mean, it doesn't taste off or negative at all as far as any kind of oxidation or anything you'd expect from a beer of its age. It tastes like it aged really, really well. This is, for me, I found this on a shelf at a local bottle shop, and there was probably a whole case there. This is a sub $10, $7.50, and this is now my go-to bring to somebody's house for a party celebration kind of beer, because that's what it is. This is what I want to toast at a wedding. This is what I want to bring to New Year's Eve in lieu of champagne, because it's giving me all the things that I've always found appealing about champagne, but totally nixes all the negative parts of it. It's tasty. It's still beer, mind you. If I were going to place it as a beer, I don't even know what I'd call it. It's almost like a... it's a champagne beer. It's like a really soft Belgian saison, really soft Belgian single. It's 8%, so it's not super low in ABV, but it just adds that extra component on there. I really dig this beer. I like this. This is a fun one to do. It's very surprising. You're talking about a clear 8% beer that has 6 years on it. You're not really sure where it's going to go. And when it brings you to some place like this, this is really what kind of turns me on when it comes to aging beer. Or just not... because I probably wouldn't have grabbed this in age, just stumbling upon aged beer. Yeah, delicious. Dig it. So let's kind of wrap this up. Champagne in a glass mixed with a sweet kind of Belgian kind of triple kind of vibe, much thinner, much lighter, but that's the level of sweetness I'm getting in there with that little nice drop of kind of lemon lime spritzer kind of thing going on. That just really kind of turns it from... I don't know if I've ever had that Dutsel beer, that champagne beer, but this is what I would hope that tastes like. Let's put it that way. So, in my eyes, probably the best representation of champagne in the beer world I've ever had. Value and availability, let's see, 9%. Or 8% beer for sub $10. Found on the shelf. I don't know how you're going to be able to stumble upon one of these unless you go to the same place I did, but who knows? Maybe it shelf turds up everywhere else. And leave you with, if you like, what will you like this beer? If you like champagne, if you like celebrations, and if you're like me, where champagne was just a little bit too harsh for you and a little bit too aggressive in a drying kind of what I call acidic kind of front. You want it a bit tempered. You want something that is a little bit beer. How do I put this? You want it to be beer, but very much champagne adjacent, as opposed to champagne with beer characteristics. That's what you're getting here. There's tons of champagne vibes here, but it's still a beer. So you're not going to get something as aggressive as over the top. Maybe age did that to it. I don't know. Hopefully I can find a fresh bottle. But if those are the kind of things you dig in champagne, but you dig Belgian triples and saison and stuff like that, then you'll dig this. there you go. Another review in the books. A fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little champagne beer right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.